In 2020, when we were all on lockdown, I decided I wanted to learn a new skill, and that skill was trading, both swing trading and day trading. And I am the only person I know who was a profitable day trader in their first year. One of the reasons I was able to be profitable my first year of trading was because of this book. It's called Trading in the Zone. I read this book, I don't know, about 20 times that year. Because this is not just a book about trading. This book can be applied to life in general. It's really one of my favorite books. I actually become a pretty good trader. I trade futures, not with my own money, with a prop firm. And I have 20 funded accounts. I have $150,000 to trade with each account. And the prop firm is called Apex. This is just yesterday, man. I made about $1,000 each account. Now, it took me 5 years to get good enough to do this shit consistently, but I've been making a lot of money trading. I want to break down this book for you. If you want to check it out yourself, there's also a link in the description. The main point of this book is not any trading strategies. He didn't talk about trend lines. He didn't talk about how to trade. He teaches how to think. And these lessons can be applied to anything. The author, Mark Douglas, he says that trading is more about psychology than it is about the system. To consistently trade profitably, you got to have emotional discipline and an understanding of probabilities. So this is a mental game. Mark says one of the main reasons why most traders are not profitable. In fact, I think statistically, 90% of day traders lose all their money. Very low odds. It's because they can't handle the psychological pressures and uncertainty. Emotions like fear of being wrong, or fear of missing out affect your ability to execute whatever strategy you have. What's worse is overconfidence. Like, overconfidence can be dangerous too. This leads to self-sabotage, hesitation, reckless behavior, and inconsistent results. Here's the thing about trading. Let's say you have some sort of edge, some sort of strategy that gives you an edge. When you're trading, you're really guessing that something is going to go up or it's going to go down, right? That's where you're placing the bets. Theoretically, you have a 50% chance of being right, like flipping a coin. To be a profitable trader, you only need to be right 51% of the time. Almost any strategy will work. It's the emotional part where people fuck up. There's 5 fundamental truths that Mark says you need to understand about trading. 1, anything can happen, right? The market is unpredictable. Any trade can lose, and you need to accept this and free yourself of the need to be right. So one of the things that helped me be successful is, like, I'm not trying to be right. I'm trying to execute my plan, and I just need to be right more than I'm wrong. If your strategy has a real edge, all you have to do is execute it perfectly. And what's fucked up about trading is you can do the wrong thing, you can break your rules and deviate from your strategy and still win, because you got rewarded for doing what you're not supposed to do. Now you're not going to do the thing you're supposed to do because you just got rewarded for it. So you can do the wrong thing and be right, you can do the right thing and be wrong. That's the fucked up thing about trading. But it's also like that in life too, right? And another thing Mark says is you don't need to know what happens next. You just need to focus on your statistical edge over a series of trades. So it's really about being right more often, not always. You just need to be correct more than you're incorrect. You're gonna lose sometimes, and that's fine. Another thing Mark goes to is that the market is random. There's a random assortment of wins and losses. Wins and losses are random in the short term. And a losing streak doesn't mean your strategy is broken. So I think a lot of times people will go through one of these losing streaks and they'll abandon their strategy, or they'll start looking for other strategies. For me, I've been sticking with the same strategy the whole 5 years. So people will tell me other strategies, oh, this is working for me, this is working for me. And it's like, yo, I believe you, but I'm not trying to learn your shit. The homie Bruce Lee said, I'm not scared of the man who's mastered 10,000 kicks. I'm scared of the man who practiced one kick 10,000 times. So I just practice one strategy over and over again. And when I say practice, this is another reason why I was profitable my first year. I did over 200 hours of simulated trading before I put any money on. So I went through the wins and losses and all that stuff unemotionally, and I really mastered my strategy. And I'll give you some more tips on how I became profitable my first year towards the end of this video. And then the next thing Mark says is an edge is just a higher probability, but it's not a guarantee for any single trade. You got to focus on long term. And this is just like a good life lesson, right? Sometimes you'll be wrong, but it doesn't mean that you are a fuck up or even what you did was wrong. It's like sometimes shit just doesn't work out, but you don't want to focus on a sample size of one. You want to see what's happening over a long period of time. Then you'll see if your edge is really working or if you're good at executing that edge. You can win or lose any trade even if you do everything right. Over a series of trades, over a long period of time, are you winning more than you're losing? And then another thing Mark says is every moment in the market is unique. So don't let past emotional experience influence your current decisions. See the market objectively. So I see this a lot with people who trade, like they lose and then they'll start what we call revenge trading, and they want to get back into it and win, and they, now their emotions have taken control. But the market didn't do anything to you. The market is random, so you just got to look at it like as organized chaos. Your job is to snipe the right moves. It's very difficult for people to understand because in the moment, emotions get involved. I want you to think about a casino. In the casino, if you're playing like a lot of the games, you have the same odds of winning as the dealer or the house. Dice are gonna fall the way they fall. Cards are going to be randomly distributed. The casino doesn't need to win every hand to be profitable. They can lose a bunch of hands and still be profitable. The thing is, the dealer is going to do the same thing every time. The dealer's not emotional about it. The dealer don't give a fuck what happens. He's waiting till he gets all work so he can go the fuck home. But the players are emotional, so they're doing emotional shit. And that's why the house wins all the time. Now you have to be able to act as unemotionally as possible. Think in probabilities. Accept the risk. This is one thing that really stuck with me in this book. So when you make a trade, you have to think about how much you're gonna risk, right? How much you're willing to lose, and you can do this with your stop loss and shit. How much are you willing to lose on this trade? And then really accept the risk. And what he means by accept the risk is, if you've really accepted it, then you're not emotional about it. I'm capable of losing $100 here. Because if you're all emotional and antsy and you're like, if you're tripping, you didn't really accept that risk. Like, and on a deep level, you didn't accept that you could really lose that money. You put that bet on hoping you didn't lose the money. What Mark talks about in the book is put it down like, hey man, that money's gone. Another thing Mark points out is to actually take responsibility for your own results, whether it's good or bad. He says, never blame external factors. Well, the market did this. The market didn't do nothing. The market don't even know you, homie. This was you. All you can control is your performance. That's just a real life lesson, right? You can never control other people. You can never control outside circumstances. You can only control your performance, and you got to take responsibility for your performance and understand that you can do everything right and still not get the outcome you wanted. But the key for success in trading and in life is to get more positive outcomes than negative ones. And if you're going to take a risk, you got to accept the risk. And if you can't really accept the risk, then don't take it. The main thing I really got from this book is it's important to control your emotional state. It's probably the most important thing in trading, is to be as calm as possible. So a few of the things that helped me become profitable my first year was, one, I did 200 hours of practice on my strategy before I put any money down. Downloading historical data and going through like just days and days and days. Malcolm Gladwell in his book, Outliers, he said you need 10,000 hours to be an expert at something, one of the best in the world. But most of us don't need to be the best in the world at something to be profitable or to make money. I think 100 hours makes you good at something. Any of you ever played an instrument, if you practice an hour a day for 90 days, you'll be like, okay, not great, but okay. But the more hours you get, 1,000 makes you like really good. 1,000 hours makes you really good. Now I have like over 1,000 hours of actual trading. But that 200 hours, it made me like, okay, I'm good, I'm decent, I'm proficient. But if you start that with your own money, man, this is why people lose their money. Another thing that helped me is I've been meditating twice a day, 2 15-minute sessions a day for like 15 years. There's a study done by Harvard University that after just 8 weeks of meditation, the part of your brain called the amygdala starts to shrink. And that's where fight or flight, fear and shit comes from. Your brain produces those chemicals, those neurochemicals that cause those emotions. And that's where they're produced, in the amygdala. If that part of your brain starts to shrink, it starts to atrophy, right? So I'm just calmer than the average motherfucker. Not because I'm special, just because I've been meditating for like 15 years. That shit really helps if you're trying to get good at trading. Another thing that helped me, it wasn't my only way to make money. Like I was making money doing something else. Because I think it would be difficult for me to be calm and less and unemotional if I was dependent on that money to survive. It would be too important. But if I think about it like extra money, like a hobby, it's easier for me to be calm. I always keep making extra money. I never want to rely on this, even though like I made 20 grand doing it yesterday. That doesn't mean that, man, I better just stop everything and just do this. Fuck no. If I stop everything and just do this, then it becomes too important. Now, my son's education and food is dependent on how well I trade, then I really give a fuck when I'm trading. It's gonna be difficult for me to be unemotional about it. One more thing I did, I only trade one instrument. I know some traders who trade other stuff profitably, multiple instruments. But for me, man, my first year was S&P 500 futures, right? SE. Now I trade NQ futures, right? NASDAQ, just because I like the way it moves. But when you trade the same instrument over and over, you get hours of practice on the same one, you kind of start to understand how it moves. Because different instruments move different ways. Like if I started trading a different stock or a different future or start doing options or something, something, they move differently. It's kind of like when you have sex with someone over and over again, you guys start to learn each other's bodies. And a lot of times the sex becomes a lot better because you understand each other better, right? It's the same thing with trading the same instrument over and over again. You start to understand it. That doesn't mean it won't do anything crazy. Anything can happen. You gotta be ready for anything at any moment. Trading the same instrument over and over again really helps. So I would say that get 200 hours of practice on the same instrument. Focus on one strategy. Don't try to fucking learn different strategies. Don't try to learn a bunch of different tactics because there's infinite amounts of strategies. Really start meditating, man. The best strategy won't work if you're too emotional. Meditating makes you more even keeled emotionally. Those would be my main advice. And read this book, man. This book is not even just about trading. You can substitute the word trading for anything in this book. I mean, it's just good advice. One of my favorite books, not just on trading, but just books in general. Check it out, links in the description.